You're watching Let the Quran Speak, and now we answer your questions. If you have a question, visit our website, QuranSpeaks.com. Okay, Dr. Shabir, here's a question. It says, I think I'm a gambling addict. Every day I find myself gambling around $200. Unfortunately, I end up losing all of my money. Do you have advice for me to overcome this problem?
Yeah, it's
such a touching problem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And it's affecting so many people. And, everyone is at risk of this because, our kids are watching the hockey game and, they're on TV. There's this ad for gambling, right?
And actually, this person is pretty young. I didn't want to age the person, but this person, because people go on their computers in their rooms and they just start gambling and it's addictive, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could be just checking your email and then something pops up and asks, are you feeling lucky today?
Yeah.
Right? You're being invited to gamble. So we have to, always be on the lookout for this and protective of our children, especially when they're online, and help our children to understand, things that as we understand so that they know how to navigate their own way through this very difficult and frightful place that we're calling our world, especially the world of the internet. So coming back to the question itself, if we go to the Mayo Clinic, they will have their own perspective, which is not necessarily a Muslim perspective, on how to overcome a gambling addiction. So including things like seeking therapy, joining with groups of persons who are also trying to overcome this problem. So by mutual reassurance, you can help yourself to overcome this problem and so on. I don't knock any of that. But a specific Muslim perspective is what I would like to add here. One is that from the Muslim perspective, we know that this is haram, this is prohibited. So this is taboo for us. We just can't go there.
Why is it prohibited?
Because God has made it prohibitive. But why God made it prohibited, this is another question. We can come to that too. But first about the prohibition itself that is mentioned in the Quran, God declaring in Surah 2 of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, the 219th verse, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ. They ask you about drinking and gambling. قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ. Say in the two of them are a great sin and also some benefit for humankind. And then the verse closes by saying, thus God expounds his revelations for you so that, people can think. It just says, think about this. The harm is greater than the benefit. There's a lot of sin in this, and the sin is greater than whatever benefit you might get. So let's think about it. What are the benefits that people might obtain from that? And whether you might obtain the same benefit in a different way. Maybe you don't have to gamble to get those benefits. So let's say somebody gambles because they feel the thrill of it. Like when there's money on the line, there's this excitement, and then, they win a little and and then, they want to do it again, right? So there is this constant drive to win. So maybe you want to win in a different way. The Quran is telling us, as for doing good deeds and going to paradise, وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. As for that, let the competitors compete. So maybe you need to change the direction of, and find a new hobby or something that, whether it is good Islamic practices as your activities that will keep you busy, or some other activities that are harmless from the Islamic point of view. Could be a sport that could also have a competitive edge to it that will give you the same kind of adrenaline rush. And I don't know if I'm describing that correctly from the scientific point of view, like what goes on in the gambler's mind and how that affects the brains and so on, and the chemicals that rush through, one's body. But whatever it takes, find an alternative to that. Then coming back to the prohibition, it is clear from Surah 5, verse number 90, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنَّمَا الْخَمْرُ وَالْمَيْسِرُ وَالْأَنْصَابُ وَالْأَزْلَامُ رِجْسٌ مِنْ عَمَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ. O you who believe, know that drinking and gambling and the use of sacrifices on the altars and the divining arrows to divide up the meat, all of this is filth from the work of the Satan. فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Stay away from it so that you may be successful. Now the questioner is already realizing and counting his money. He's losing $200 per day. Well, you're losing. If you want to be successful, ultimately, not by just simply gambling. One former gambler who is a Muslim and who put his confession online, said, when I won, I didn't know what to do with the money because I know that this is haram money, this is illegal. So that's another way of thinking about it. So the ultimate success is not in winning in gambling, but in winning with God. So one needs to change one's orientation. And I believe the questioner has taken the good first step by asking us about it, and the next step is left to the questioner to now follow through and stay away from gambling altogether.
We hope that person will. Thank you for that, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
The most effective, the most far-reaching dawah we can do these days is on social media. At Muslim Media Hub, we're harnessing the power of media to spread the message of Islam. Want to get some reward from God? Support this mission. Check us out at muslimmediahub.com.